Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Clayton County Magistrate Court first appearance hearing calendar for May 26. I am Judge Richard Brown. Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Judge, we can hear you.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Clayton County Magistrate Court first appearance hearing calendar for May 26. I am Judge Richard Brown. All right, let me try it again. Can you still hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We do.
Okay. All right, sorry for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon now, I'm Judge Brown. So I need to let you know this is the first appearance hearing calendar. And just because you're in custody does not mean that you're guilty or that the court thinks you're guilty. You have certain constitutional rights, and those rights include right to the presumption of innocence. You are presumed innocent unless or until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to an indictment by a grand jury for most felonies and by accusation for misdemeanors. This is just legal language to say to officially get in the system, they have to present certain paperwork to an official body. So that's not really something, that's just legal jargon. The other rights you have is the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have a right to see, hear, question, and challenge any witnesses or evidence presented against you. You also have a right to get witnesses on your own behalf, and you have a right to subpoena those witnesses. You have a right to testify and present evidence on your own behalf. And you also have a right to remain silent. Should you choose not to make any statements, either at the trial, that cannot be held against you. You have a right to an attorney to represent you. And I need to let you all know that given this emergency situation with the virus, everybody is approved for court-appointed attorney. If you choose to hire your own attorney, then you just let the court know, and then we will have the court-appointed attorney withdrawn from your case. Next, I'd like to talk about bonds. There are three types of bonds that you can make. The first type is cash. Someone would need to bring the total amount of your bond in cash to the sheriff's department at the Clayton County Jail. They would turn those monies into the sheriff's department, and that money would be held until your case was over. But it would need to be the total amount of your bond in cash. After the case is over, all of that money will come back to the person that turned it in and the name that is turned in. That's the first type of bond. The second type is going through a bonding company. It's really called a commercial bond. The bonding companies charge about 15% of the total bond. Don't ask me about any math. That's why I went into law, so I wouldn't have to do math. But 15% of your total bond, all I can tell you is if your bond was 1,000, then 15% is 1,500 plus half of that is 750, so you do the math. But for a bonding company, they charge about 15%. It could be more or it could be less. You have to talk to the bonding company to get the exact amount of the bond. You get none of those monies back at the end of the case because that's the bonding company, they keep that as their charge for the service of making bonds available. The third type of bond is called property bond. Person who owned the property would need to bring the deed to their property to the Clayton County Jail, the sheriff's office, and they would sign paperwork pledging that property as collateral to ensure your return back to court. But in order to have a property bond approved, the property owner would need to have at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. 3 times the equity amount in the value of the property. Meaning if your bond was $2,000 and a person brought their deed to the jail and say, I want to put this property up to get my daughter out, then they would look and see how much equity do you have in the property. You have to have at least $6,000 worth of equity. That means that you don't owe anything, but you free and clear that you have that much value in the property, free and clear of any liens or anything like that, in order for a property bond to be approved. So the person would sign paperwork pledging that property. And then once the case was over, that would satisfy that agreement. However, if the person they signed the property, pledged the property for, signed the bond for, didn't show up in court, then the county would be able to get that money from the property that they pledged. Next, I'd like to talk about special conditions of your bond. Some of you have special conditions in which you will be ordered not to go back around certain people or places. You will get a copy of this order for bond. You will sign this order for bond. It will have your charges, and it will have your bond amounts. On this order, it will also say that you're not to go back around this person or to this place. And you cannot contact them directly, indirectly, you cannot go through a third person. If you do, you could potentially be charged with violating the bond order and or aggravated stalking. If you're convicted of aggravated stalking, that means that you made contact with the person in a harassing, intimidating, threatening, and or violent manner. If you do that and it's proven and you're convicted, the maximum sentence and or fine is up to 10 years in jail and or $10,000 fine. That's if you make contact in a harassing, intimidating, threatening, or violent manner. If you have a bond condition to have no contact and you make contact and it's not in a violent manner, but you just call in to say happy birthday, you're still in violation of the order because it says no contact. And that's if you do that and it's not in a harassing, intimidating, or threatening, violent manner, you would be charged with a misdemeanor. And that would, if convicted, the maximum sentence and or fine is up to 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. The other thing I need to let you know is the purpose of this hearing is called first appearance, and it's not to have it's not the trial of your case. So there's no need to try to explain to me any of the facts and circumstances and all these things, because this is not the time or the place of the hearing. The only purpose for me having this hearing with you today, right now, is to tell you what your charges are, what your bond amounts are, your next scheduled court date, to determine whether you, to advise you that you have been approved for court-appointed attorney. And if you want to hire your own, just let the court know and we will release the court-appointed attorney. So the next thing I need to tell you about is going back to the bond again. In order for me to set a bond, which I have set all the bonds on all these cases, that means I have to take a couple of hours to review your criminal history. I had to look closely at what the officer charged you with and why. And I had to make a determination about your bond. So there's no need in asking me, can the bond be lowered or can it be changed? You would need to talk to your attorney about getting that done. And your attorney can do that. They would have to go to the district attorney's office and they can request a lower bond. And even if you have no bond, they can request that you get a bond, but you'd have to do that through your attorney. There's no need to ask me about changing the bond or the bond amount. Next, I want to talk about what's called a waiver. There are two types of criminal charges, categories called misdemeanors and felonies. You probably heard that a lot. Misdemeanor is less serious than a felony. Therefore, those of you who are only charged with misdemeanors, you will be given an opportunity to waive your case straight upstairs to the trial court and cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. Now that's keeping in mind we got this virus thing and there's all kind of emergency, delays with hearings. But just in general, by waiving your case, you can be in front of a trial court judge sooner by waiving it. And you have cut down on the times from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. If you choose not to waive it, then you potentially would be waiting that extra 2 or 3 weeks. If you're charged with a felony, you have to talk to your attorney before you allow the opportunity to waive your case because those cases are more serious. We're doing everything by video now, so because you have all been approved for court-appointed attorney, they will be contacting you. And by waiving your case and you are able to get in front of the trial court judge, then they can make a final decision on your case. They could dismiss it, they can put probation, they could do community service, they could have a trial without a jury, you could have a trial with a jury. All options are on the table once you get in front of the trial court judge. Magistrate court, we cannot make a final decision of your guilt or innocence. We just determine whether the officer had a legal reason to arrest you, meaning they can't just say, they can't assume, they have to have something that when they write a warrant, they have to give some facts as to why they arrested you and why they charged you. And unless you can prove that they were lying or it was impossible, then more than likely your case is going to get transferred upstairs to the trial court, and it's going to take another 2 or 3 weeks to get up there. That's what I mean when I say if you waive the case, you send it straight up to the trial court and you cut down on that time it takes to get up there. And your attorney will have been to visit you or talk to you on the video, and the prosecutor will be there, the trial court judge will be there, and a final decision can be made in your case. So those of you charged with misdemeanors only, I'm going to ask you if you would like to waive your case. You also need to know that all the dates that I'm going to give you for court, but if you waive your case, I'm not going to give you a court date because you waived it upstairs to the trial court and we don't have their calendar. All we can tell you is that you'll be up there in 7 to 10 days. You'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days, excluding any delays for this coronavirus. But that means you'll be in front of the trial court judge 7 to 10 days before anybody else once these conditions are relaxed or taken away. Something else I was going to mention. Okay.
All right. Y'all go back inside your cells. Come on.
I'm sorry. I should have let you know. I was trying to think of one more thing I had to say.
Judge, you got something else to say? Hold
Yeah,
on,
I
bro.
got one more thing I had to say was, I got to swear them in too. So
Okay.
yeah. So one more thing I was going to mention about, oh, that's right. So if you waive your case, any court date that I've given you this morning, you can disregard that court date. Now, I didn't say disregard court. I say disregard the court date, because once you waive your case is going to be upstairs in the trial court, and you'll get the notice when to appear and when to show up in the trial court. So you don't have to worry about a hearing either on video or coming to the magistrate court if you waive your case, because you'll get the court date in the mail or through the court or through your attorney or through your bonding company. So if you waive your case, any of these court dates I give you, you can disregard these court dates because your case is automatically transferred upstairs to the trial court, which would be the state court of Clayton County, which is on the third floor of the courthouse. Now, last thing I need to do is swear you in. That means I'm going to ask you in a minute to raise your right hand, and I'm going to say to you, do you swear that everything you put in your court-appointed attorney form is the truth, and that you understand if it's not the truth, you can have some criminal charges? That's what I'm getting ready to give you an oath that everybody who has a case this morning, you need to raise your right hand at this time. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information you put in your court-appointed attorney's form is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And do you understand if you put any false information in that form, you could be criminally charged with a felony of perjury or false statement? If you understand this and swear to this, please say, I do.
I do.
Well done. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, deputies, you can proceed, and we'll get ready with the ladies. Okay, Deputy, let me know when you're ready.
All right. Judge, you want to do the Spanish speaking people first?
I guess so, yeah. Mr. Bermudez says yes.
Sir?
Yes, let's do Spanish first.
I kind of figured that's what you wanted to do. Hey, Burgess, let me get the
Judge, I won't say that. I don't know if you can hear me well, but it's breaking up like really
Yeah,
bad.
it's breaking up. I can't hear you. Yeah, can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yeah, I heard you then. You're breaking up. It was a little low.
Jose Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Señor González?
Is that what he said? Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Eso fue lo que dijo González?
Sí, Jose González.
Let me ask.
Yes, Jose González.
Let me ask Deputy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you said there are two Spanish persons, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you get the other one there so I can just go over these rights? I don't have to do it twice.
I got both of them right now.
Okay.
See them both?
I just need to make sure both of them can hear.
Come on over here, Mr.
Yeah, they can keep 6 feet, but I just want to make sure both of them can hear.
Se mantengan por lo menos alejados 6 pies.
Sarge.
¿No me escuchan?
No se escucha.
¿Me pueden escuchar?
No escucho.
Quítese la,
Take your mask off your face.
quítese la máscara.
No escucho bien.
Okay, Ms.
He's
Bermudez,
saying
let
that
me
he
know when
cannot
you're
hear
ready.
Me very well. Judge Brown, can you hear me?
You're breaking up, but I can make it out. We can still go.
Okay, the defendant at the podium says that he cannot hear me well.
He cannot hear me or he cannot hear well.
No, he said that he cannot hear me well.
I see.
I asked him if he could hear me well. He said no.
Okay. So what's your suggestion? I guess
I don't know if you just want to go over his charges, because I don't know if we're going to be able to do the
okay.
whole spill.
All right, let's see how far we can get.
Yes, sir.
Well, since the other young man is standing, let me at least say this. Good morning.
Buenos días.
Let me ask each one of you, how long have you been in the United States, one at a time?
Cada uno de ustedes, ¿por cuánto tiempo han estado en los Estados Unidos? Uno a la vez.
Yo 15 años. 16 años.
15 años. 15 o 16 años.
Sí.
Me, 15 or 16 years.
15, 16 years. Okay, he can speak English. What about the other person?
¿Y qué tal la otra persona?
Can you hear?
Mande.
Other person, how long he been in the United States?
18 years.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. So yeah, Ms. Bermudez, we can fill in you can fill in the gaps. Okay. All right. So gentlemen, I'm Judge Brown.
Judge,
And I'm going to administer the interpreter's oath.
yes, sir.
You solemnly swear affirm you faithfully translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, the proceedings before the court in an accurate manner to the best of your skill and knowledge. Ms. Bermudez says, I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Everybody can put their hand down.
Yes, sir.
You can
Pueden
put-
bajar su mano. Pueden bajar su mano, señor.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, you are presumed innocent of any charges that's pending against you right now.
Señores, a usted se le presume inocente de cada uno de los cargos de los cuales se le acusan en estos momentos.
You have a right to confront your witnesses and call your own witnesses.
Usted tiene el derecho de enfrentarse a sus propios testigos y de citar a sus propios testigos.
Okay.
You are presumed innocent of all charges unless until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
A usted se le presume inocente de todos los cargos hasta que el Estado muestre su culpabilidad más allá de una duda razonable.
You have been approved for an attorney.
Le hemos aprobado para nombrar un abogado de oficio.
There are three types of bonds you can make.
Hay tres formas en las que usted podría pagar su fianza.
Cash bond is the first one.
La primera es su fianza en efectivo.
Someone would need to pay, turn in the cash amount of your bond, and they can get all of that back at the end of the case.
Judge, the interpreter didn't get that.
Cash bond, someone would need to bring the cash to the jail, and the sheriff will keep that money until the case is over and they'll get it back.
La fianza en efectivo, alguien tendría que traer el dinero de la fianza en efectivo a la cárcel del condado.
A property bond, someone would need to bring the title to their property and sign the paperwork with the sheriff's office.
Y la fianza usando una propiedad, alguien tendría que traer el título de la propiedad y firmar la documentación requerida en la comisaría.
They would need to have enough cash value in the property in order for your bond to be approved.
Ellos tendrían que tener suficiente valor en efectivo en la propiedad para que esta fianza pueda ser aprobada.
The third type of bond is going through a bonding company.
Y la tercera forma es usando una compañía fiancista.
Bonding companies charge about 15% of the bond.
Y la compañía fiancista cobra alrededor del 15% de la cantidad total de su fianza.
You get none of that money back at the end of the case.
Pero no les reembolsan ese dinero al final de su caso.
If you would like to waive your case to the trial court, you can do that.
Si usted quiere renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar, usted podría hacerlo.
If you waive your case, you cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days.
Si usted quiere renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar, esto se reduciría el tiempo que el caso se toma para ir al tribunal de litigios de 3 a 4 semanas, solamente 7 a 10 días.
Okay, so the first person's name was, what was that first name? Say Gonzalez, I think somebody said.
El primer nombre, González, dijo González.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you repeat, can you spell the last name?
González.
Gonzalez, okay. Okay. I got it. I found it, okay. So here we go, Gonzalez. Let's see. Mr. Gonzalez, you charged with driving with no license. Your bond is $1,000.
Yeah.
Yes, they interpreted the end of the charge.
Driving with no license.
A usted se le acusa de manejar sin licencia de conducir, su fianza es de $1,000.
Okay.
Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza? Señor González, ¿cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza?
Sí, sí.
Yes.
Did you say yes? Okay. Would you like to waive your case? That means send it straight upstairs to the trial court.
¿Quiere usted renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar?
No escuché.
No le escucho.
What did he
Señor
say?
González, ¿me escucha?
Ajá.
¿Quiere usted renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar?
No.
No.
Okay, your next court date is June the 29th.
Okay.
Su próxima corte está programada para para el 29 de junio
and that's at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
a las 8 de la mañana en la sala 202.
Okay.
If you make bond, you can disregard that court date. You'll get the notice in the mail or through your bonding company.
Si usted sale bajo fianza, usted no tiene que venir a esa corte. Le van a enviar una notificación por correo diciéndole cuándo va a ser su próxima audiencia.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta?
Lo que quiero saber es que si voy a salir ahorita para pagar el bond.
I would like to know if I'm going to be released now.
I didn't hear you.
I would like to know if I'm going to be released now.
If you make bond, you can.
Si usted paga su fianza, lo pondrían en libertad.
Porque creo que mi familia pagó. Mi familia pagó pagó dinero para salir.
Because I think that my family paid.
Okay, well, that'll be between you and your family.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay, entonces eso sería entre usted y su familia. Buena suerte.
Okay.
All right, what's the last name of the next person?
Señor, ¿cuál es su apellido?
López. Isaías López.
López.
Adelaide.
Isaías López. López, Judge.
All right. Mr. Lopez, you charged with one second. You're charged with driving without a license. Your bond is $2,000.
Señor López, a usted se le acusa de manejar sin licencia de conducir. Su fianza es de $1,000.
Pagado el bond también.
Do you think you can make your bond?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza?
Ya pagó mi familia, ya pagó mi fianza. Pásale.
Yes, my family already paid my bond.
Okay. Would you like to waive your case?
Okay, ¿quiere usted renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar?
¿Cómo?
¿Quiere usted renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar?
No. Es que no lo escucho bien.
Okay, that's okay. He's gonna make bond, so I'll just give him the court date. Your next court date, if you don't make bond, is June the 29th.
Ok. Su próxima corte, si usted no sale bajo fianza, va a ser el 29 de junio.
If you make bond, you don't have to come to court on that date. You'll get the notice through the court or through the bonding company.
Si usted no, si usted sale bajo fianza, usted no tiene que venir a esa corte del 29 de junio. Usted recibiría una notificación del tribunal o de la compañía fiancista.
Bueno,
All right, do you have any questions?
Ok, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta?
No, es todo. No.
Okay, then you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
No, that's all. Puede empezar con algo así. Buena suerte.
Ms. Bermudez, I think that's it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you for your help.
You are welcome. Judge Brown, the first name was for Mr. Lopez.
Lopez.
Get his first name.
You want to know his first name?
Yes, sir.
Oh. A-D.
It's okay, Judge. I think he gave it to me. Isaias Lopez. I got it.
You got it?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Thank you, sir. Good
All right.
afternoon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we ready for the young ladies?
Yes, sir. Let me get Walker. Walker, and let me get Darlington. No, I'm sorry, Abraham. All right, Judge, we got Walker. Let's go up to the podium and tell him his name. Yeah, Abraham.
Hi, I'm Conicia Walker.
Don't stand. Damn, sure.
Can you take this off?
Yeah, you can take it off.
Okay.
When you talk to the judge, you'll say.
Tell my name.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Conicia Walker.
All right, Ms. Walker, 1 second.
And let me get on Milton. I'm sorry. Milton. Yeah, Milton. Hey, Milton's gonna go before you, okay? Milton is in this one side myself. All right. Ms. Milton, do me
Right.
have a seat on the edge of the bench. And just use this back a little and then we'll get to that.
Hey, bro. Nothing wrong with letting them read the paper.
Huh?
Nothing wrong with letting them read the paper.
None of them what?
There's nothing wrong with letting them read the paperwork.
I did.
All right.
Yeah, Chuck was right there. They read the paperwork. Everybody, I don't know what they're doing. Get it back.
Good. Ma'am, what's your first name?
Conicia.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is it not to write on these papers?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, write down your bond information, all that stuff. Tell them to go back. Go back.
Okay, sorry, I've gotten my paperwork mixed up here because I'll get it together in just a minute.
Problem, take your time. It's rude. How's that rude? Oh, just be tripping.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is just I'm wasting too much time. All right, Ms. Walker, you're charged with one count of obstructing the officer. Your bond is $1,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Would you like, I'm sorry, you're also charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $1,000 on that too. So your total bond is $2,000. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, I will.
Would you like, okay. You also have a bond condition.
I'm sorry.
You also have a bond condition to not go back. To not go back to the place where you were arrested.
Okay. Yes, sir.
What was the name of that business?
It's an apartment. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I can kind of sort of spell it. I think it's pronounced Wyndham Hill Apartment.
Okay, that's okay. Just know that a condition of your bond is not to go back there.
Okay.
All right, and you're gonna sign, you know what? God, I didn't send the orders, bond orders back. Okay, I'll tell you what, if you can hear me, I need you to let Ms. Walker go back
Okay.
and we're gonna need to bring her back.
Okay, what day you want to bring them back?
No, in a few minutes. I just got to take a minute to get my paperwork straight because,
So is this information
Okay.
correct?
all right.
You want to move on or you want to,
Now what I need to do is, hold on one second. I'll be right back. I got to check something.
I have a question. Is me this information not correct?
nah,
Huh?
you got to.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's get Ms. Walker back.
Take this off.
Yeah, you can take it off.
All right. Ms. Walker, would you like to waive your case?
Sir.
Can't hear you.
No, sir.
Okay. You understand that by waiving your case, you're not pleading guilty. You're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney and you can still make bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, but I want, like, could I not speak to the attorney first before I decide to waive the case?
Sure you can.
Okay.
All right. So just understand though, if you, by not waiving your case will come back to the magistrate court. If you're not able to make bond, it might take a couple of weeks extra before you get to the trial court.
So how long do I get to decide if I want to waive it?
It's up to you whenever you talk to your attorney, but I just don't know when that might be, given all the conditions and everything. But you can wait and they should talk to you sooner than later.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so your next court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. If you make bond, you can disregard that court date. You'll get the notice in the mail or through your bonding company.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and don't forget, you have a bond condition not to go back to that location. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you're gonna sign a waiver and then you'll go back.
Thank you.
You can go back and they'll let you sign a waiver. Thank you.
Still want to waive.
Well, I'm sorry, that's right, disregard that, no waiving.
I got you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank
All right, who's next?
All right, after her, it's gonna be Darlington.
Africa Milton,
And then Donaldson.
I'm sorry, ma'am, what's your name?
Africa Milton.
Okay, Ms. Milton. Ms. Milton, you have one charge of battery family violence. You have a bond condition not to go back around Antonio Sandiford. Do you have any questions about that?
We live together.
Say it again.
We live together. We have children together.
Well, I understand, but that's, they charge you with battery, a simple battery in that situation. So you're gonna have to talk to a bonding company, talk to an attorney to get that condition changed.
Okay.
Your bond's $2,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No. Oh, yes, I do.
Go
So
ahead.
if I'm able to make bond today, can I get out today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. All right, done. You're gonna sign your waiver and you'll go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Come on. I will sign that. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, sign that. Come on, next
I don't
person.
think you can see me.
I can see you.
Hi. How you doing?
What's your last name?
Abraham.
Couldn't hear you.
Abraham.
Abraham. Okay, Ms. Abraham. You're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000. You have a bond condition not to go back. I'm sorry. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Marcina Pyle. Who is that?
That's my girlfriend.
Okay. So you can go back around, but you can't have any violent contact.
Yeah, no,
Something.
no trouble.
Listen carefully. If something else happened while you out on this bond, you would be in jail without a bond.
Okay.
So if there's an argument or something, you need to leave or go the other way because you'll be put in jail with no bond if something else happened. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
No, sir.
You understand by not waiving your case, it could take 2 or 3 more weeks before you get in front of a trial court judge if you're not able to make bond.
I'm able to make bond.
All right, if you make bond, your case automatically be waived to the state court. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so by not waiving it, if you're not able to make bond, your court date is gonna be June the 29th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, ma'am, your last name?
Harrington.
You say Harrington?
Harrington with a D.
Oh, a D, okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, you charged with one count of battery. You have a bond of $3,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Anthony Hines. And do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes. Am I eligible for a signature bond?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Would you like to waive your case?
No.
Okay. You understand, by not waiving your case, if you don't make bond, it could take 2 or 3 more weeks before you be in front of the trial court judge. You understand?
I'm able to make bond.
Okay. Your case will automatically be waived if you make bond. If you don't, then your court date will be June the 29th. At 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy. They're gonna, you can go back with the deputy. They're gonna let you sign your bond condition.
I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hines is my legal spouse.
Say it again.
Mr. Hines is my husband, my legal spouse.
And
What do I do about proceeding with legal matters?
I've approved you for a court-appointed attorney, so you'll need to talk to that attorney.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, come on.
Your last name, ma'am?
Donaldson,
Come on.
Yep. Spell the last name.
Donaldson.
Ma'am, you're charged with on count of battery. Your bond is $3,000. And you have a bond condition to have no contact with Wesley Green. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case? You like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Just understand, by waiving your case, you are not pleading guilty. You still presume innocent. You can still get an attorney. You're already approved for attorney, and you can still make bond. Unless you have any questions, go back with the deputy and sign your waiver.
Let's leave the pen there. You come up to the podium. Yeah, that's it. All right. Tell them your name,
So no receipt?
All right.
Let the females, or just took them back to the other. Put the pen down, go back to the side of U6. Somebody will take you back. Have a seat back there.
All right, ma'am, you're charged with, you were charged with battery, but your charge is really actually aggravated assault. And you have a bond condition. Second.
I'm sure I'll go down there.
Are you sure? Three? 33 minutes.
For some reason, I'm having a hard time finding your paperwork. 1 second.
Judge, you got her name?
Yes.
Okay. She's gonna be on the second page if that helps out.
Okay.
Yeah, I can take that. I can do that.
You didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry for the delay. I'm gonna need to,
If you need something, let us know.
Got you.
We come running. Good, Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. Let's see if it'll work real quick.
okay, I'm gonna need to hold her. I'm sorry, ma'am. I had to bring you back. I can't find your paperwork for some reason.
Bring me back today.
Yeah, in just a minute. I just gotta find it.
I can sit down.
Yeah, just go back and I'm gonna go to somebody else until I get your paperwork.
Judge, you got a Williams Tammy?
What's the last name?
Williams, first name Tammy,
Is it a man or a lady?
female?
Well, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you can bring. That's, ma'am, you're Tammy Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the one before her last name was Sheets Clenora. I don't know. Or Seats, Seats.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ms. Williams,
Yes, sir.
your, I'm dismissing your case
Your Honor.
because, well, you know, you got to promise me you don't go back to that location.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, they didn't give me enough information, so I'm dismissing it. So you can go go back with the deputy. They should release you shortly unless you got some other reason to hold you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, you can bring back Miss Seats.
All right.
Okay, Miss Seats.
Oh, it's too late. It's done. Yeah, we're moving on. You guys just line up your seats for us?
All right, Ms. Cease, you have a bond condition to have no contact with Ricky White. And
Excuse me, can I ask you a question, sir?
not yet. Okay, ma'am. Your bond is $20,000.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
It's alleged that you hit somebody on the head with a glass bottle. I'm not trying to debate it. You have an attorney, okay? But the officer charged you with battery, and that's not the appropriate charge, but somebody getting hit with a bottle upside the head, glass bottle. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what I've amended the charge to because that's what the officer wrote in his facts. So your bond is $20,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Ricky White, and you can talk to your attorney about getting that bond reduced. Unless other than that, and your court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
Okay, well, let me get there.
All right, you sign your waiver and you go back with the deputy.
Courtroom 202. Okay, just can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
We've been staying together 13 years. So
Ma'am,
that's,
I told you, I can't comment on the facts of the case. You have to talk to your attorney.
okay, you said no contact, but all my belongings, everything there.
You can, you'll have a bond condition that you can get an escort to go and get your stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Judge,
Right. Talk to your attorney. You can get it reduced probably.
I have one. I don't have one.
they're gonna
I've approved you for one.
Okay.
All right.
you signed you asked for a waiver?
Yes.
Judge, is she want to sign a waiver?
Yes, I'm sorry. No waiver because it's a felony.
Okay, gotcha. All right, you can go back. All right, Judge, you ready for the males? That's all the females.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna start on the first day, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll be back for him.
Tell them your name.
Lee Caldwell.
Okay. Let me, Deputy, let me ask you, did we finish with the female Africa Milton?
Yes. Look, I'll have to ask the officer. He's way down there.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'll ask him later. Okay. So you are Mr. Caldwell, right?
Yes.
What you got, Judge?
Did we finish with the female Milton?
Yeah, you did Milton.
Okay, and what did I,
She signed a waiver.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Just to give you a heads up, Judge, she was the second one that you seen.
I got you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Mr. Caldwell, you have a charge of battery, family violence. Your bond is $7,500. You have a bond condition to not go back around Ashley.
Okay.
And would you like to waive your case?
I would like to ask you a quick question.
Unless it's about waive, I need you to answer that first. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent, you can still get an attorney, you can still make bond. If you make bond, your case is automatically waived.
I'm asking about pleading today.
I just told you in the beginning, sir, I can't accept the plea. That has to be in front of the trial court judge. And like I said, if you want to waive it, you'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days. But you need to talk to your attorney about entering a plea before you say that.
Okay, so you can't take a plea?
No, sir.
Okay, well, a waiver then.
All right. You have a bond condition and they'll let you sign it in a minute and your waiver. So you can go back with your definite unless you have any other questions.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just tell him your name.
He ain't on the screen right now. Oh, there you go.
What's your name?
Tavis Farrow.
All right, Mr. Farrow, you have 2 charges. Driving with no license or expired license, the bond is $500. And possession of marijuana less than an ounce, your bond is $1,500. Your total bond is $2,000. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I should be able to make the bond, but he told me that, I have a license. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a license.
I can't discuss the case, sir.
Sorry, I should be able to make bond though.
Do you want to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No.
I mean, only question I can answer is about this process. I can't go into the facts of the case because I've approved you for an attorney.
Honestly, yeah, the only thing, he just wrote me a ticket. I didn't know I was gonna have a bond back. He wrote me a ticket and it's in my property. That's the only question I had. I didn't know.
Say it again.
He wrote me a ticket. He said I had the possession of marijuana, but then he wrote me a ticket because my tag was in my window and not on the back of the car. He said it wasn't in the right place.
So what's your question?
I was asking like, how did that become a bond if he wrote me a ticket and it's in my property?
Because he charged you with it. It's a part of you charged with both of those charges. So you got to make bond on both charges.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay, good luck to you. You'll sign your waiver.
You need to talk to me though.
All right, sir, what's your name?
DeAndre Gaskin.
All right, Mr. Gaskin, you have 5 charges. All your charges are misdemeanors. If you want to waive your bond, you can. You driving under the influence of bonds, $2,000. Reckless driving is $1,500. Racing, $1,500. Improper lane change, $500, and leaving the scene, $1,500. So it looked like your total bond is about $7,000. Would you like to waive your case?
I have a question first. You said waive the bond. What do you mean by waive the bond?
Say it again.
You said waive the bond. That's the first thing you said?
No, I didn't say waive your bond. I say waive your case. Send it straight up to the trial court and it'll get there in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks.
No, sir. I don't want to waive it.
Okay, your next court date is June the 30th. I'm sorry, June the 29th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I just need to get the court date one more time.
Court date is June the 29th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
Just leave the pending when you finish.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Tell them your name, take them out.
Ronnie Harris.
Okay, Mr. Harris. 1 second. Okay, you charged with driving without a license. Your bond's $2,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes or no? You're not sure?
I would have to call my family to see.
Okay. Would you like to waive your case?
No, sir.
You understand, by not waiving your case, if you can't make bond, it might take 2 or 3 weeks longer to get to the trial court judge. If you waive it, you'll be in front of the trial court judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks. By waiving your case, you're not pleading guilty. You're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney. You can still make bond.
That's what not waiving the case.
If you waive it.
If I waive it, I can still make bond.
Yes, sir.
And if I don't waive it, I can still make bond. But
Oh, yeah, you can make a bond either case. By waiving it doesn't affect making bond or not. It's just, if you're unable to make bond, you'll be in, it'll take you 2 or 3 extra weeks to get in front of the judge. If you waive it, you'll get in front of the judge in 7 to 10 days. Okay, you want to waive it, yes or no?
no.
Okay, your court date's going to be, if you don't make bond, your court date's going to be June 29th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. If you make bond, you can disregard that court date. You'll get the notice in the mail. If you have any questions?
So it's June 28th?
29th.
And you said that's for me not waiving it?
Right. Waive it, you'll be in front of trial court judge in 7 to 10 days.
Waive it?
Say it again?
Would it be best if I waive it?
It's up to you. I just have to give you information. You have to make the decision.
I can waive and still find out. I can do that. I can waive it.
So you're changing your mind, you want to waive it?
Yeah. I'm not from here, officer, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how y'all operate.
All I can do is give you the information. So if you're sure you want to waive it, I'm gonna change it. If you want to waive it?
Yes.
Okay, you'll sign your waiver and you'll go back with the deputy. Your bond's $2,000. If you make bond, you can if you make bond, it's gonna get waived anyway, okay? But if you don't make bond, you'll be in front of the judge in 7 to 10 days.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Okay, you can go back with the deputy. Sign your waiver.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Come on.
You, Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 3 charges: driving on suspended or revoked license. Your bond is $1,500. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon. The bond is $5,000. And driving under the influence, your bond is $2,000. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta check something.
You told me your name, big guy?
Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Jefferson, your court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
What's the total amount is 8,500?
Yes, sir. Any more questions?
That'll be all, sir. I just have to get in contact with a bondsman or?
Yeah, you can contact the bondsman, and also you have a court-appointed attorney.
Okay, I appreciate it, sir.
You too, be safe.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, you, Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
You have one charge of obstructing an officer. Your bond is $1,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Waiving the case, they're just making the case faster, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
You could do that.
All right, do you have any questions?
Sir. No, sir.
All right, you'll sign your waiver. You can go back with the deputy. Thank you.
All right.
You guys got a waiver? Leave my pen there.
Yes.
Come on up to the podium.
All right, next.
Judge, you got Parlor Jordan.
Mr. Parlor, you have one count of disorderly conduct. Your bond is $1,000. You have a bond condition not to go back to that location. Do you have any questions?
If I don't pay the bond, how long will I be in jail?
If you waive it, you go in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days and they could handle it. If you have a trial, it could take longer. You just need to talk to your attorney and you can make a final decision. But right now, the question is, do you want to waive your case?
If I waive the case, can I pay the bond?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to waive it. I'm not paying no $1,000.
Press.
All right, so just by waiving it, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent, you can get an attorney, you can make bond. Mr. Paul, I need to tell you something. That location you were at, you can't go back there, all right? You understand?
No, I don't know why I can't go back there.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, you got arrested for going there. If you go back, you probably won't have a bond if you go back. Anyway, you can go back with the deputy, you'll sign your waiver.
Come on over. All right, next one to the podium. Yeah, you got to pay him outside.
Are you Mr. Rest Prince?
Sir.
You Mr. Rest Prince?
Yes, sir.
All right. So at this time you have no bond. You're charged with one kind of aggravated assault. And you can talk to an attorney about getting the bond. Your next court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock. And you have a bond condition to have no contact with Tommy Jackson. Do you have any questions?
So I have no bond?
No, sir. But you can talk to your attorney about getting one.
Okay.
All right. You'll sign your bond condition. You can go back with the deputy. All right, you Mr. Sims?
Smith.
Hey, Judge, I'm gonna tell you about Sims in a few minutes.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Smith. You got one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond, your court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock. Courtroom 202. And the bond is $5,000. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you. You can go back with the deputy.
Next man, go to the podium.
Are you Mr. Tucker?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have no bond at this time, but you have a previous aggravated assault, and these charges are aggravated assault. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Keisha Phillips. And you have 2 court dates. You have a preliminary hearing court date, which is 8 o'clock on June 30th. And you have a bond hearing court date on July the 10th at 8 o'clock. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you can go back with the deputy. You can talk to your attorney about getting the bond.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're Mr. Woods.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Woods. One second here. You have 5 charges. And you have 5 charges and 1 second here. Okay, so Mr. Woods, the officer charged you with a felony, but it's not a felony. So you have 4 charges: driving on suspended license, misdemeanor. Your bond is $1,500. Concealing the ID of a vehicle, your bond is $500. Open container, the bond is $500. Obstructing an officer, your bond is $2,500. And the 5th charge is driving on suspended license, the bond is $500. So, would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
You said no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to sign your waiver and then you can go back with the deputy. Thank you.
I will.
So your last name?
Blue, like the color.
Say it again.
Blue, like the color.
Blue, okay.
He going back to the house.
Yeah, he's in there.
He going back to the house. They just let me call what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, I tell you what, I need you, so Deputy, that seems like that's all on the,
Yes, that's it for the first page.
okay, give me 5 minutes to get my paperwork together for this second page.
All right.
Okay, so you can go back. I was gonna take me 5 minutes. I need to get my paperwork in order.
Now, you don't lose, hey. Nah, you can't have the arms, you gotta see the arms. Nah, put them through. That's the only look all the way through. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can stand up, you know. I want to show. How y'all get down?
no, I'm not.
How y'all get down there?
Okay, I'm ready. All right, sir, give me your name again. I can't hear you.
Blue, like the color, blue.
Right, okay. Okay, Mr. Blue, you have one charge of theft by conversion. Your bond is $10,000. You have a court date of June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
Oh, sorry, you said 10,000, right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you. You can go back with the deputy.
thank you.
That's that, come on.
Step up, sir. I think your name.
So your last name?
Barnes.
Barnes?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Barnes, you have no bond on the charge of aggravated assault, terroristic threats, and criminal trespass, obstructing an officer, drug-related objects. You have no bond on the first two charges, and you have a $2,000 bond on the criminal trespass, $2,000 on the obstructions, and $2,000 on drug-related object. And you have a bond condition to have no contact with LaQuisha Hughley. Your court date is June 30th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
I'll be staying here to June 30th, my next court date, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. You can go back with deputy. You can talk to your attorney about getting the bond.
All right.
All right, you, Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell, you have 3 charges. Following too close, the bond is 500. Hit and run accident, 1,500. Obstructing the officer, the bond is 2,500. The total bond is 4,500. Think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Sir?
Think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes, sir.
All right, would you like to waive your case?
No, sir. I'll make it bond today.
Well, by waiving your case, it doesn't matter whether you make bond. It's just in case you're unable to make bond, it'll be in front of the judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney, you can still make bond. Are you interested in waiving it?
No, sir.
All right, your next court date, in case you are unable to make bond, is going to be June the 29th at 8:30. I've been saying 8, and courtroom 202. That's just in case you're unable to make bond.
You said 8:30?
Yes, sir. That's if you make bond, you can disregard the court date, but if you don't, then it'll be June 29th at 8:30.
Okay.
I forgot one more thing. Hold on 1 minute. You're Mr. Bell, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did I give you your bond amount?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. You can go back with the deputy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, your name, sir?
Andrew Evans.
Spell your last name.
EVANS.
You know where to go? Yeah. I'll get somebody to make sure you get that.
First name is Andrew.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you have 2 charges, false imprisonment and simple battery. You have a bond condition not to go back around Kayla Doyle.
Okay.
And you have your bond amount, false imprisonment is $15,000, and your simple battery is $5,000. Your total bond is $20,000. Your next court date is June the 30th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
You said at 8 o'clock?
Yes, sir. All right, you go back with it. You're gonna sign your bond condition. All right, Robert Grant.
No, I ain't.
How you doing, sir?
Good. You, Mr. Grant?
That's Robert Grant. Yes, sir.
Your bond's $3,000 for driving under the influence. Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
You know, 10%.
If you go through a bonding company, it's like 15%, but it might, I don't know. You have to ask them to be exact.
You said it's 3,000.
Yes, sir.
You said driving under the influence.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, unless you have any questions, you can go back with your death.
All right. Need a pen. I'm not following. No problem.
Okay, you must be Mr. Griffin.
Yes, sir.
You charge yourself about shoplifting. Your bond's $2,000. You have a bond condition not to go back to the store on Jonesboro Road in Morrow. You sign your bond condition. Would you like to waive your case?
Can I sign my own bond?
No, sir. You have to talk to your attorney about that.
Okay.
Would you like to waive your case is the question.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then you'll sign your waiver and your bond condition. After that, you can go back with the death. Good luck to you.
Next. Tell me your name.
Dewan Hayes.
Okay. Mr. Hayes. You have one charge of carrying a concealed weapon. Your bond is $5,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, I'm not sure, but I
Would you like to waive your case?
no, sir.
You know, by not waiving your case, it'll cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty. You're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney. You can still make bond. If you make bond, it's going to be waived anyway. You want to waive it? Yes or no?
No, sir.
The next court date, if you don't make bond, is June 29th, 8:30, courtroom 202. Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the death.
You said what time?
8:30.
What was the courtroom again?
202.
All right.
Need a pen. Come on. Wait. You got somebody going. Make sure you put that sandwich out in the car.
Are you Mr. Anthony Hines?
Yes, sir.
Never came through?
You have a bond, you have a charge of criminal damage to property, second-degree felony. Your bond is $5,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Bridget Glass Ponder. The next court date is June the 30th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
You sign, if you have no questions, you'll sign your bond paperwork and you can go back with the debt.
Last name Chambers.
All right, you, Mr. Howard.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Howard, you have two charges. I think at first they charged you with one. Your first charge is terroristic threat, so you have no bond on that at this time. You have a second charge of battery, family violence. Your bond is $5,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Robert Felton and Renard Felton. Do you have any? And your next court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
Would I be able to bond out for the 500? What if the bond is for 5,000?
You can. I doubt if they're gonna take it separated, but they might be able to let you make a bond on that one, but you still wouldn't be able to make bond on the other one until you received the bond from the court.
Understood.
Okay. All right, well, you go with the deputy and
I could go ahead and make the 5,000 payment and then I could release.
I don't know if they're gonna let you do it or not, but I'm just saying it is possible, but I don't know if they're gonna let you do it just for judicial economy. I doubt if they're gonna split it up, but that's too much paperwork to start back.
All right.
Okay, you go back with the deputy. You'll be signing a waiver later. I'm sorry, not a waiver, a bond paperwork. You're Mr. Humphreys? You say yes? Okay, you have two charges, loitering or prowling. The bond is 1,000, and obstructing the office of the bond is 2,500. You have a bond condition not to go back to 61250 Dixie Road, Mexican restaurant. The total bond is 3,500. Would you like to waive your case?
Live it over, bond it over.
Yeah, the waive it, to send it upstairs to the trial court.
So when I waive it, I'll come back for the next couple weeks or something.
Yes, 7 to 10 days.
So if I don't waive it, then what?
Then it'll be, your court date will be in 3 or 4 weeks, which will be June 29th. 4 weeks. Waive it, yes or no?
You ever waive it, I'm gonna go see the judge now, or see him now, or?
I said in 7 to 10 days, it'll be in front of the judge. If you don't waive it, it'll be 3 to 4 weeks. It'll actually be 4 weeks. Okay, you need to let me know, otherwise I'm on. Waive it, yes or no?
No.
Okay, your court date is June the 29th at 8:30. Courtroom 202, and you have a bond condition.
So if I waive, you say I come to court in 2 weeks?
Sir, listen, I've explained this 3 times. This is my last time. If you waive it, you'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days. If you don't, it'll be 4 weeks. And if you make bond, then you make bond.
Okay, I'll waive it. I'll waive.
All right, well, you can go back with the deputy. You're gonna sign your waiver form now, and they're gonna have a bond condition you're gonna sign later. Thank you, you can go back.
This nice?
Okay, sir, your name?
Daniel Jean Charles.
All right, sir, you have 3 charges. Leaving the scene of accident, improper lane change, and false report of a crime. The bond is 1,500 on leaving the scene, 500 improper lane change, and false report of a crime, 2,500. The total bond, 4,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. And you can go back with the deputy and you assign your waiver. Thank you.
You done? Yeah.
Hey, Judge, the next one is in a wheelchair. Can you see him?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. Johnson, you have theft by shoplifting. Your bond is $2,000.
Yes, sir.
You have a bond condition not to go back 2940 Amble Block Road in Ellenwood.
Yes, sir. Young.
Yes, sir.
So as you can see, I'm handicapped. I'm 7 years old, sir. I'm featured car. I'm not able to make bond. Is there a way, sir, you can give me season good bond?
How many times you been arrested in the past?
I've been arrested a lot of times.
How many?
A lot.
I know, but you been arrested that much, maybe other people be fine. You just go right back, because you know they'll let you right back out.
Young, I ain't never absconded from no bond.
It's not a matter of absconded. It's the matter of just keep coming back. Just keep coming back, because you know you're gonna get right out. No need to abscond if you know you can get right out.
But I'm seeing now, young. I ain't been locked up recently, and I'm trying to do right now. Please never stop my own boy right now. I'm 7 years old, sir.
Sir, you can't, that sad story won't work on me if you just keep coming back, because you take people's kindness for weakness. Because of this virus, I'm trying to see if I'm gonna let you do it, even though you don't deserve it. I'm still trying to consider it, but don't give me the sad story, because you keep coming back because you know you can give sad story. You probably gave so many sad stories, not funny.
Yes, sir.
How long you been in the wheelchair?
I've been paralyzed ever since 2015.
Okay. And how many times you been arrested since 2015?
Oh, one time, you know.
One time? Now, okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna check your criminal history. And if you've only been arrested one time since 2015, I'm gonna let you sign your own bond. If you've been arrested more than one time, then you lied to me and you're not deserving, just like I thought.
I ain't lying, you know.
Okay, but then let's take him back, and I'm gonna check his criminal history at the end.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, come on to the podium.
Hey.
No, I think you're gonna do them last.
Oh, okay. You want to sit in here with us?
Sir,
Okay, sir, how you pronounce your last? You Mr. Johnson?
I'm Mr. Lewis.
Lewis. Okay. Wayne Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, you have 4 charges. You have one count of terroristic threats that you have no bond on. Other 3, it's criminal trespass. The bond is $3,000. Intoxicated in public, $1,000. Disorderly conduct, $1,500. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Teresa Williams. And your next court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
So I would not be able to bond out, period. I had to stay to the court date.
No. Well, you can talk to an attorney about getting you a bond before the court date.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna sign your, they're gonna give you a bond condition paperwork later that you're gonna need to sign.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can go back with the deputy.
Yeah, Judge Brown, do you want us to hold Johnson?
No, I was still waiting on him.
I mean Johnson George. The other Johnson, he bonded out.
Oh, the one in the wheelchair?
Yeah.
I want to hold him. I got to check his criminal history.
All right, so you want us to hold him here?
Yes, sir. Please. Last name, please.
Mayers, M-A-Y-E-R-S, sir.
You say Mays?
Mayers, M-A-Y-E-R-S. First name Alexis.
Okay, I see. Okay, you have one, let's see. You have 2 charges. Theft by receiving stolen property, the bond is 10,000, and criminal damage to property, the bond is 5,000. Your next scheduled court date, and you can make bond. If you make bond, you can disregard this court date. You get the notice in the mail. The next court date is June the 30th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
You said if I bond out, disregard this, they'll send it in the mail.
Yeah, disregard that court date. They'll send the notice in the mail.
All right, all right,
Thank you, sir.
all right.
Your last name?
Kingston, sir.
Pennington, you have 2 charges. Driving without license and failure to stop at the stop sign. Your bond is $1,500. 1,000 on the no license and 500 on the stop sign. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you sign your waiver and you go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Okay.
Are you Mr. Powell?
Yes, sir.
Powell, you have 2 charges. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, the bond is 20,000, and drug-related objects, the bond is 2,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
Yes, sir.
Would you like, okay, your next court date, if you don't make bond, is June the 30th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I'm good.
All right, you can go back with the deputy. Sean Quilliam,
Yes.
you got 1 charge, driving without a license. The bond is $1,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
I think yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you'll sign your waiver and you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
How you doing, Judge? Bass?
Good, Mr. Bass, all right.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Bass, you have 2 charges. Drug-related objects, the bond is 2,500, and pedestrian soliciting, the bond is 500. Your bond is 3,000. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
All right, okay, make it, Your Honor.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir, Your Honor. Excuse me, is $3,000 an hour?
Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor.
You can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you. They're gonna let you sign your waiver.
Yes, sir. Well, I signed waiver. Thank you, sir.
You're Washington?
Yes, sir.
Washington, you have 2 charges, battery, family violence, the bond is 5,000. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, the bond is 5,000. And 1 second. You have a bond condition, have no contact with Gabriela Naim. Do you have any questions about that?
Could you repeat that, sir?
You have a bond condition, have no, you know somebody named Gabriela?
Yeah, Gabriela Naim. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
Okay, you can have no contact with her.
yes, sir.
Your bond is $10,000. Your next court date is June the 30th at June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You can talk to your attorney about getting a bond, a court date sooner than that. If you make bond, then your case is automatically transferred upstairs to the, I'm sorry, disregard that. Yeah, if you make bond, your case is going to be heard. You'll get a new court date.
Okay, and if I can't make bond?
Then your court date is June the 30th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
Okay. So I can't waive it? No, you don't do that.
You're going to sign your bond condition later on when we get it over there. You're Mr. Whitehead?
Yes, sir.
Whitehead, I show you presently on probation, so I cannot set you a bond on this charge of battery, but you do have a bond condition to have no contact with Nen T. Williams. You can be considered for bond at your next scheduled court date. Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Sir? I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can talk to your attorney before the court date, but by waiving it, you'll be in front of the judge in 7 to 10 days when they are able to get you in front of the judge, taking consideration there's some delays with this virus. So you're gonna go with the deputy and you're gonna sign your waiver and you will get your bond condition paperwork over there for you to sign later. Do you have any questions?
So I don't got a bond?
No, you don't have a bond because you can't set you a bond because you're on probation. But you can talk to your attorney about getting you a bond. And you can be considered for bond at your next scheduled court date.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can go back with the deputy. Are you James Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have one charge of simple battery, family violence. Your bond is $5,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Kendra Barron.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like to waive your case?
Can I have a better understanding of it? I understand you said if I'm bonding out, it's automatically getting transferred.
Yes, sir. Upstairs to the state court.
Yes, I think I'm going to bond out. So I think it wouldn't matter what I do, correct?
Well, it matters if some people think they can make bond and they wind up, there's a problem and they're not able to make bond and they're being stuck in jail for 3 or 4 weeks until their court date come up. If you waive it, you'll be in front of the judge in 7 to 10 days in case something happens and you're not able to make bond. But you're right, if you make bond, it's gonna get waived.
All righty, perfect. Well, I'll waive it if it's gonna get
All
waived.
right, you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. You said no contact with Kendra Barron.
That's right. You're gonna sign. They're gonna get you that bond order for you to sign before you release. But you're gonna sign your waiver now. You can go back with the deputy.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
All right, I'm gonna get Johnson, Judge. Right quick.
Is that the person in the wheelchair?
Yes, yes, sir.
Is that the only one left?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I gotta go check his history. So give me about 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just put us on.
You can bring him back.
Trying to get him right now, Judge. Stay right there. I'm gonna turn it towards you.
Yes, sir,
There you go, Judge.
Mr. Johnson, 2016, you got arrested for false name. After that, you got probation violation. And in 2019, you charged with escape and you got 2 years.
I'm sorry, they ain't on me, y'all.
That's not you.
I'm sorry. My name George Edward Johnson. So I ain't never escaped from nobody. I was in prison.
I know you were.
I ain't escaped from no prison.
What were you in prison for?
I was in prison for false. I was in prison for identity fraud and shoplifting.
When did you get out?
I got out in 2017.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Mr. Johnson. When you say you've been arrested a lot of times, it's like unbelievable amount of time. But look,
Yes, sir.
if ever I was gonna be weak and go against my better judgment, it would be now, because I know you're posing the hardship on the jail and then your age. So I'm gonna give in and let you sign your own bond. But I'm telling you this,
Yes, sir.
you get arrested again, I'm gonna put a little note that say, make sure he come back to me.
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
I hear you.
I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway, even though I don't have much, I don't put much confidence in your word.
Yes, sir.
But because of the time, place, and condition, I think it would be best for everybody involved for me to let you sign your own bond.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna do it, but you need to make, you got a bond condition not to go back to, what was that, Walmart?
Yes, sir. That's where it was at.
You got a bond condition not to go back there.
Yes, sir.
Don't go back to any Walmarts.
Yes, sir.
Where's your family at?
I got a son, he's staying in Fulton County. Young, and I got a nephew, he's staying in DeKalb County. I don't have no other family than that.
How old did you say you are?
70.
What's your condition while you're in the wheelchair?
I had a stroke, young. I had a massive stroke. They said I wasn't never walk and talk no more. I can move a little bit, I can walk a little bit, but you see I'm talking real good.
Yeah, you was talking pretty good when you were trying to convince me to let you sign your own bond. But that's okay. Good luck to you. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Unless you got anything else holding you, then they should release you shortly.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right.
God bless.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Judge Brown.
Yes, sir.
We emailed the waivers to you. Did you get it, sir?
No, but thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, we emailed it to you, and it should be in your email.
And I'm waiting on several more of the court-appointed attorneys form.
I think he mailed that to you as well, sir.
Okay, I thank everybody this morning for bearing with me. I had a couple of glitches here, but I was able, with your support, we got through it.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, thank you so much.
All right, Judge, you have a good day.
My regards to all you, everybody on the staff, personal, if you convey that to them, please.
Yes, sir, will do.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right, I think we're signing off, Ms. Lee.
All right, take care.
All right, I'm gonna call you.
Okay.